Alright, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to another VGY DashFight How to Fight Against guide. Today we're going to be doing my boy JAX. Of course, we love JAX around here. I'm going to keep this one pretty short because there's not much to say, but we're going to be going over the key aspects of the character, ways that you can counter him, and the best characters to use against him to try and counter him as effectively as possible. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Sit back, relax. Thank you for clicking on this, and we shall get the hell in there. Starting off, we're going to be going over a general overview of the character. So, JAX is, in every regard, a rushdown character. He has a 9-frame mid, forward 3, which is what you want as a rushdown character. Jackie has the same thing. Cassie also has the same thing. Basically, any character that has a 9-frame mid is going to have a good up-close game. Because it's the best kind of mid you can get. Especially a hit confoundable 9-frame mid like this. Very easily hit confoundable as well. That's safe on block in -4 and also has an extension in forward 3-3-1 or forward 3-3-1 +3 if you have expert grappler. So yeah, he has a mid string, which is good. He's, like I said, a rushdown character. He also has Oki off of his grabs, meaning that he can press you after he's thrown you. The traditional thing you'd go for here is forward 2, but you can get a forward 3 if you get the wave dash perfect, like so. You can also go for a down 1 or I don't know, a back 2 if you wish. I guess it's up to you. Or a jump. But yeah, you get Oki off of both of your throws. Look how sick that back throw is. Oki, forward 3, as he gets up if he mashes or if he holds up or whatever. So he is a rushdown character. Also has elements of zoning, like so. If he gets heat, which he has to hit you to obtain. Like so. Now I have heat, I can zone if I wish. Get more, build more heat like this. There's always kind of a mix-up whether he's going to, you know, do this or shoot and then shoot again, for example. Because the projectile's so fast, you can't react. He also has grenade launcher, but this move is woeful, so we don't talk about that. But yeah, like I say, he is a rushdown character. Everything leans towards it, his crushing blows, everything. You get rewarded for rushing down your opponent. So, because of that, the way you're going to fight him is just going to be the opposite to that, which is, you guessed it, not rushing them down and staying away from him, zoning him out so he can't get heat, he can't get started. He also lacks mix, so you can also just block and then react to the throw accordingly. However, he does have a command grab to counter that, but command grabs in this game that are highs, especially that have no range like this one, risks. Because obviously if I am, what's it called? If I'm Robocop here, I can just duck and kill him for it. If I can do a command grab input, there we go. Oosh, like that, right? Obviously that's not optimal, but a down 2 crushing blow, you're just dead at that point, right? So there's always risk associated with characters that have command grabs or just have to grab in general, and JAX is definitely one of those characters. So we will move on into the section of how are we going to counter this? What we're going to do, what tools does he have that we can easily counter? Moving on, we are on to the section of countering. What are his weaknesses? How can we exploit those weaknesses, like I mentioned in the previous section? He is a rushdown character, so what you're going to want to do against him is stay away. Like you know, just if you're Robocop in this situation, just do this. There is not much you can do about it. He is going to struggle. Because he's going to have to take all that chip damage getting in. And then when he does get in, Robocop can just throw him away. Deuce, and then he's all the way full screen again, and then he has to get in, then he's sending him full screen again, and then he takes all that chip damage. So, one, the easiest way to counter JAX is literally just zone him out. because like I say, he spends all that, you know, that chip damage getting in, and then when he does get in, he can just be sent back full screen again. This is the case with Cetrion, even with Jackie to some extent, because of the dot damage she does with Goop. Robocop, like I mentioned. Basically any cat, even Shao to some extent does well, because you can just out neutral him, and then send him full screen with a throw, because this throw just sends you all the way back. But yeah, so the easiest way you're going to want to deal with him is zoning, which is why characters like Robocop and Cetrion do so well against him. Also, he has some flawless block gaps that we can exploit. So if I change back to Robocop and I record JAX doing this, you will see there is a flawless block gap on the third hit, like so. So that is it's a very easy one to exploit as well, especially when he hasn't got expert grappler. You can just practice this in the lab. Very easy to exploit. The way that he will have to counter this is by taking a risk. So if I then record him doing this, for example, and I try and flawless block, I get hit. So that is what the kind of risk he will have to take, or back forward 2, which obviously wastes a bar, as you will see here. I try and flawless block again, I get hit. As you can see my inputs, I tried to flawless block, I couldn't. So that's one easy flawless block gap that you can exploit. And he has did pretty much the same thing on 2-2, standing 2-2, but it's that's only with expert grappler. But expert grappler literally just makes that an extension, like a grab attack. It's still the same way to flawless block it, like everything's the same. There is no differences. So that's an easy flawless block gap to exploit. Also, something I think is important to note is that his forward 3 is actually unsafe. As you can see, punish. So it's a relatively easy stagger to react to as well. So if you lab this, it's very easy. Obviously not with his, because this is a 10 frame mid I'm punishing this with, but you can just do a jab to make this timing more lenient. So just practice the look of that stagger, because it is -11 on block. Like, it's really unsafe. A lot of people don't know that, but it is very unsafe, so make sure you're looking out for that. Also, another thing to note is that if a JAX player ever does anything into this move, you can interrupt it, like so. You see the start, you react. This is his launcher, it's ripped. It's definitely one of his most common moves, so I'm definitely going to mention it. Down back 4 is the input for this, and can be interrupted. It is safe on block. The amplify is not, because it's a high, you can duck that. But it is the initial like overhead slam that he does with both arms, that's safe. But can be interrupted, as you can see. So anything into that, interrupt that for sure. Another thing I think is really important to note is that enhanced outrank, like so. This string does tick into command grab, so you can duck this, obviously make him pay for it, obviously kill him for it, because down 2 crushing blows do mad damage. But he can also do the rest of the string and confirm into this. But you can actually OS this. So I'm actually letting go of block here on the third hit, and then you can punish him. So practice that timing. It's not as good as you would think. You can definitely try and assess both options. Sometimes you can just hold up. Actually, let me go try and holding up and see what happens. Okay, so no, if you get tagged if you hold up, so you can't hold up. But basically, try and time your block unblock with the timing of the command grab and the 4th hit. And more often than not, you will get out of it. Some characters can poke underneath that string, like Katana and Melina. They can just poke underneath that with their down 3s and their down 4s. Melina's down 4, Katana's down 3. I've seen it happen many times. So basically, any character that has a low profiling poke will get underneath this. So yeah, like I say, that mix-up is not as good as you would probably think it is. So yeah, we've got keep away, we've got those counters for those specific things. Also, obviously, it's JAX, so he's going to have to grab you. I don't even have to mention down 2 crushing blows. They just completely counter that grab game. Duck OS as well, Strike OS. that'll do a very good job at countering Jax. He does have a 9-frame mid, but Duck OS is very hard to counter in that you're going to have to time your 9-frame mid very, very perfectly in order to make sure he, you know, the person against Jax isn't Duck OS. So make sure you're using Duck OS, make sure you're using Tech OS, and make sure you're just making him not want to grab, because then he just does his mid and loses his turn, and then you do whatever you want. Send him full screen, zone, the world is your oyster really, when it comes to being -7 or -4 right in the opponent's face. Like, Jax can't really do much about that, and a lot of his stuff is -7, so meaning your turn is over as Jax. So yeah, those are just a few things, a few ways you can counter a lot of his offense and make him a lot less scary when you're up close. So now we're quickly going to talk about things you're going to want to avoid doing against Jax, and things that he can make you pay for, because there are quite a few things, and those things do lead to a lot of damage / pressure if you do them at the wrong times. So first things first, never, and I mean never, mash against Jax, right? This thing right here, 9-frame mid, ends careers. So you don't want to ever mash. Like on wake up, if you want to do a wake up attack, do an up 3, you know, or at most do a down 1. Never do like wake up standing buttons or wake up jump or anything like that, because he will just mid you. He has too many mids, and he will just blow you up for it. So for example, if you mash and wake up, he gets this, he gets this, oos. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Gets arm heat, gets pressure, you're in the corner, and he gets 30% health. And if he grabs you, well, you're dead. So try, like, I mean, this occurs with every character with a 9-frame mid, but especially Jax, because he gets going off of any hit, because Gotcha Grab just builds heat. Look at how much heat that builds on its own. You know, you can zone, you can do whatever you want. So mashing is off the menu, basically. You also want to try not to let him close down space for free. So as we can see, we're against Robocop here, and I previously mentioned zoning does a really good job against him. That is your main goal. Just don't let him close in space on you. Realistically, that's the best thing you can do to prevent pressure from starting. You know, don't just let him walk in for free. Actually make it a minefield to get in, you know. Do your moves that keep him at like sort of this range. That will help you out the most, I feel. Because at the end of the day, if he has no heat, he is just a significantly worse version of himself, right? When he gets heat, that's when Jax starts rolling. Gets his KBs, gets his really good projectile, arguably the best projectile in the game. And he starts pressuring you, because that's what he needs, right? He needs to get those punch attacks or that gotcha grab to get that pressure started. So yeah, don't be mashing, and don't just let him get in. Try and make it a hard task for him to, you know, do some chip damage, get his health down a little bit, you know, at least before he gets in, because it is inevitable he will get in probably, but if you can try your best to not let him in, that would be optimal. But yeah, those are just some of the things to avoid when you are fighting Jax. So now we're going to move on to characters that you should use against Jax, and why you should use them. I did mention this a bit before, but I'm going to do a proper section on it. So like I say, Robocop, Cetrion, Jackie, Cabal, basically anyone with good neutral control and the ability to zone you out. Cassie, Johnny, he has quite a number of characters that do pretty well against him. Like I say, for the most part, you're looking for a character either with a good projectile or good space control that can send him back, and also characters that can make him pay for being -7 or just minus in their face, so they can enforce their mix-up. Sub-Zero, for example, does that very well. Jax is -7, he has to eat an overhead low mix-up 50-50, right? So you obviously you don't want that as a player, as a Jax player. If you're doing what your main offense suggests, and you have to be put into a blender every time that gets blocked, it's obviously not a good feeling, and it's very hard to counter in most cases. It requires a very, very good player defensively. So you're going to want to pick characters that can make him pay for doing that. Also characters that can are very slippery in that they'll get out of the mid grab mind game, which is Jax's main mind game. And yeah, like I say, those characters that I mentioned, and basically the rule of thumb is if they're good at zoning or they're good at keeping JAX away from them or making him pay for his minus frames when they're in his face, those are the characters that you're going to want to go for against JAX, because they will make him struggle a lot when he's up close, which is his main game plan, as I've mentioned. Right, guys, that's going to be the end of today's guide. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you made it to the end of the video, put is that Frost in the description. I'm sure all of you cultured individuals will know where that's from, but put that in the I keep saying description, comment section. All of the good DashFight links will be in the description though. Make sure you give them a follow and a subscribe on all of their relative social media accounts because they are legends. I love doing guides for them. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, guys.
This is seriously messed up.
Hang back, kid. How about we keep this between me, myself, and I? I'll get with ya, and hit ya, bringing that yak to the neck. So you better run.